everybody. This is Anand Sharma from Techplus Media, CXOTV.news. We have got yet another series of CEO talks, and today we have Mr. Sanjay, none other than the CEO of Spyne. Mr. Sanjay co-founded Spyne as well. And what does Spyne do, what they are into? It's better to hear from him directly, right? Because the passion will come out. So Sanjay, why don't you start and share with us as to what does Spyne do?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Anand, for inviting us for this prestigious discussion.
Mhm.
And hey, everyone, I'm Sanjay Kumar, co-founder and CEO of Spyne, which is basically a photography tech company, right? So what we do is there's a huge industry of internet cataloging across the globe. So every internet merchant who is looking to sell anything online, they are getting their products, physical products shot by agencies or the freelancers or the photographers all across the globe. So which is operationally pretty complex, expensive, non-scalable, and because it involves a lot of people, right? So what we are doing is we are building a tech which will automate this entire photography operations and make it accessible using in the smartphone app. So all these categories are being shot within some guidelines. So we're building computer vision models that will let any layman behave like a photographer and edit like a professional editor and publish like automatically using the APIs.
Mhm.
So this is what we are building, and yeah, across multiple categories we are working. So automobile was the first category that we started with, and recently we ventured into food and e-commerce other categories as well, and working with a lot of pretty large internet companies all across the globe. So in the automobile industry, virtually all the big tech companies in the country, as well as companies in South America, Middle East, Southeast Asia, US, Europe as well. About like 30 plus clients, specifically in the automobile domain. And other than that, in food and e-commerce, we are also working with some of the biggest names in the industry. Yeah, for scaling the photo shoots. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Uh, uh, Great. So, product cataloging is quite a unique domain. Can you please elaborate on what attracted to you to this space?
Yeah, sure. So I've been a product and engineering professional since I graduated from IIT in 2005, and have been part of various startups, Indian as well as like global companies who are especially working in the internet domain. Right. So one of the key areas that I have worked in the past was the supply and cataloging and vendor onboarding. So all these areas were the ones where I extensively worked at Yatra, Oyo, uh,
Okay.
Fashion and You, Rocket Internet, a
Mhm.
bit in Amazon, but that was slightly different about the logistics. So I've like closely seen this entire domain, but, and I've been aware of the problems that all of these companies, like bigger companies, face, right? And scaling their photography operations across multiple geographies. Right? So that was like clear pain point that we started with, and the last like few years, the computer vision as a tech has evolved a lot, which
Mhm.
has given possibilities, has in which we can convert those guidelines of photography into computer vision models, right? So algorithms and all. So yeah, in one of the companies, my team basically built a system through which we used to validate and rate all of the photos submitted by the photographer, right? So that
Okay.
gave the genesis of this idea that if you can like rate the photos behind the scenes, why not build this tech on the application itself, right? That will
Wow.
just make this entire process scalable, right? So
Mm.
that started, and we have been like working on this idea for almost like 2.5 to 3 years now,
Sure.
and after spending over a year working with a lot of images, millions of images, training a lot of models, we launched our first solution in April 2021, and since then we have been scaling pretty fast. Yeah,
Great. Great. So it's been almost over a year now.
yeah,
Okay. And glad to hear that you started during the COVID times. So that's a
yeah,
big leap of faith.
yeah. So the company started pre-COVID, about 3 to 4 years back,
Okay.
and we were working on some other idea which gave genesis to this idea, and then one pivot helped us reach to the state. COVID facilitated this entire digital movement. Most of these companies started moving online aggressively, That also gave some push to whatever we were doing, and that basically accelerated our journey as well. And post COVID also, like this digital movement thing is something which is like going aggressively,
Absolutely.
at least in the e-commerce domain. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Great, great. Sanjay, the e-commerce space has witnessed a major lift during the pandemic, as you
Yeah.
rightly mentioned, due to
Yeah.
consumer preference for online purchasings and all, right? So,
Yeah.
what are the factors driving the e-commerce space now?
I think people have got accustomed with the idea of purchasing things online, right?
Mm-hmm,
So, of course, so this has been increasing in the last like 10 years or so, when Flipkart came and started like educating the users for the online behavior, purchase behavior, and a lot of companies also started over the time
mm-hmm,
in various categories, right? So in the last 2 years, it I mean, this maybe 4 5 years of journey was like. Uh, uh, Compressed to over 2 years, but yeah, that journey has been compressed, but the growth trajectory remains the same, right? So digital movement is still on the same trajectory following. So that's here to stay. People have been used to like the comfort of doing online shopping. A lot of a lot of like new age sellers are coming up who are looking at like online distribution as the main distribution method for them,
mm-hmm.
rather than like setting up brick and mortar shops. Online shop setting up is much easier. You can build a Shopify store. You can quickly go and launch your things on Amazon. You
Yeah.
can actually also do Facebook commerce or Instagram commerce. So a lot of like uh, individuals are also looking at selling their products online, right? Other than like established sellers. So this trend is like increasing day by day, right? And we want to be one of the facilitators of this trend by helping those sellers get their catalog in a pretty easy and accessible way. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Great, absolutely. So, what are the major challenges small online players face in the e-commerce space that you'd want to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, if you see generally in the e-commerce domain, there's a vast difference between a big seller and a small like a small seller, right? So big sellers have a lot of resources to spend money on cataloging, photography, marketing, all these areas, right?
Mm-hmm,
Supply, logistics, all these areas.
mm-hmm,
Whereas a small seller does not have like enough resources to spend. So because you're selling online and you do not have a way to show your product other than the via images and videos, so this becomes like a fundamental uh, lever on how your product will sell compared to the other products who are listed as a competitors, right?
mm-hmm.
And bigger sellers have this particular leverage because of money that they can spend. So we wanted to build a tech which will help all the sellers create equal quality or images at an accessible price, right? And if you see like 90-95% of the merchants are doing like self-serve shots, which are not tuned in or not presented in a way where the big quality sellers who are able to hire a good quality photographer are able to present, right? So
Sure.
that's where like the conversion, we're getting like a huge hit.
Hmm.
And this app will help those those like long tail 90% of the sellers get online faster with the high quality images and videos,
Sure.
right? So and also like accessibility of the photographers in smaller cities, because of the cost, because of the, what do you say, skills, is also a big challenge, right? So if you can build a tech which is always present, so that basically opens up, unlocks a lot of like potential. So this is what we are looking to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How is Spyne addressing those challenges which you mentioned, in addition to what you have shared with its cloud-based SaaS platform?
Yeah. So what we are doing is we are building an application that understands how to do a shoot like a photographer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, there are image classification models that will tell you whether if you're looking to shoot a footwear, it will tell you how to shoot a footwear for Amazon or for Myntra, right? So if
Okay.
the footwear is cropped, it will not let you shoot low light, not let you shoot wrong poses, it will not let you shoot. It will guide you how to do a perfect shot for a footwear, right? So no matter who is shooting it, everyone will be shooting as per the guidelines of those marketplaces. So this is like the first check. The second thing is that we because we know the guidelines of those marketplaces, we automatically tune in those images. We can create those frames, shadows, light effect, all of these things we do, sizing of the product, all of these things, and we create like those optimized images for all those marketplaces. And the third step is that we do like auto cataloging of those images as well, because when you click those images, you already know the tags of those images, right? So you can generate title, descriptions for those marketplaces, and help the sellers uh, create their entire like photo and text catalog right away on the application, right? And because we have done it for marketplaces, we can there itself you can connect your seller ID and go live. So this is what we are looking to do, and I've cracked up to a large extent a few categories already, and seeing a lot of traction on these areas now. Yeah. So the easy app, an easy mobile application that can virtually work on any phone, which is maybe 8 to 10,000 and above cost in the market right now.
Great, great. That's really wonderful. And how would you differentiate from other solutions that are available in the market with your AI capabilities?
Yeah. So I would say we are. I'd like to explain the alternatives which are available compared to us in the market right now.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 2 or 3 types of alternatives that are available to the merchants right now. The first alternative is, of course, those studios and agencies whose services can be used, right? The second solution is a lot of like marketplaces or photographers have come up, which provide those professional photographers and for those companies to these like sellers as well as large companies. Uh, third is there are like editing applications on the Play Store and App Store, which are basically doing everything, but not deep into any particular category to solve all the possible problems for that particular category.
Okay.
Right? So these 3 are the kind of different channels available for the sellers right now. What we are doing is we are not horizontally targeting all the categories right now.
Okay.
What we are doing is, let's say we solve cars, so we'll solve automobiles like fully. So as a dealership, you will if you experience our application, you will know, okay, this solves like automobile photo shoot and publishing entirely, right? So it knows how to do a photo shoot for a car, how to transform a car, and how to publish that car.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So once we crack maybe 20, 30, 40 different problems to shoot a automobile properly and then convert it for the marketplace guidelines, we'll move to the next category. Right? So this is the approach which we have taken. And once we crack one given category, it is scalable to global markets because this is a digital tech. Right? So that's what we have been doing and has been like thankfully working for us right till date. And yeah, so rather than focusing on everything at once, we are looking to focus on one category and solving it for like entirely.
Great. Are you also present in the segments like you mentioned a little bit about automobile, but in the food and fashion as well?
Yeah. So food, we are doing a very extremely large pilot with one of the like leading food tech companies in the country. Okay. And enabling their merchants, basically restaurant partners in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities to do self-serve photo shoots using our application. So a big pilot is ongoing right now, and pretty soon we'll be launching the food across multiple categories, multiple companies as
well. Wow.
Right? So e-commerce also we are doing the same. So working with some of the closed door partners who will be launching sometime. Yeah.
Great, glad to hear that. Sanjay, why don't you tell us a little bit about your India footprint and the highlights of your recent business achievements?
Right. So, and so as I said, right. So we are very category focused approach that we have taken. So the kind of solution that we have built work in certain categories almost like perfectly. Right. So that basically helped us crack a lot of big companies in this particular space because we were able to give them the images which they wanted, right, and able to differentiate one company from the other. And so that helped us. I won't name the companies, but if you look at like some of the top automobile tech companies in the country, they would have like our catalogs.
Wow.
Right? So yeah,
great. Go ahead. Please go ahead.
So food tech as well, like some of the largest companies in the country are working with us. E-commerce also, we are working with almost all the big names that you know. right? So yeah.
Wow, great. So would you want to share, let's say, your top 5 business and technology focus over the next couple of years?
Yeah, so I mean, our goal is to expand categories in I mean, the building the same solutions and tweaking it with more data training across multiple categories. So we want to go like maybe 20x deeper on what we have already done on automobile, and then continue the same approach on food, e-commerce, fashion, and real estate. So these 5 are the clear target segments for us, where we will go like in extremely depth, and we'll probably solve for the globe, right? So they're like one of the key areas. In future we'll get into other media forms as well. Primarily would be like 3D. Sorry, the power cut happened, it will just come. Okay, primarily it will be like 3D metaverse will be most definitely be exploring in the coming days as the market opens up. But because as of now, if you see, 90% of the commerce, 90 or 95% of the plus commerce on the internet is right now driven by images, right? So and if you solve images up to a large extent, there's a huge enough market to capture.
Sure.
3D metaverse and videos are coming up like fast, but once they become a norm, we will have a tech jobs to launch things in those categories as well. Yeah.
Sure. Moving towards almost, my towards the end of my conversation, what's your outlook for the e-commerce and online shopping industry in India, and how do you see Spyne adding value to the market space over the next 3 to 5 years?
I mean, e-commerce will grow, right? So everyone knows e-commerce is growing and it will continue growing. So the social commerce has picked up big time, right? So you have Mishos and different types of companies coming up, which have facilitated peer-to-peer shopping as well in the tier 3, tier 4 type of cities. So uh, with Geo and all these like broadband revolution and 4G revolution, 5G revolution that will happen in future. So internet penetration will continue like go deeper, and with this internet penetration and UPI, like payment has opened up like big time,
Yeah.
right? So the customers are now aware. Like if you go into tier 3, tier 4 cities, small villages, also people are now uh, now eager to shop online because they're able to access high quality products from what the big cities people were able to access earlier.
Mm.
So that way, digital footprint is expanding, right? And one of the ways in which we want to contribute to this digital expansion is to become like a go-to app for any internet merchant to move online, right? So this photo generation is one of the fundamental problems for any merchant who is looking to sell anything online, right? So we want to become like a very convenient, accessible app for every single seller uh, in the country, abroad as well, and want to present all the e-commerce platforms as a mediums where they will be able to publish, right? So yeah, this is the way.
Great.
That way.
Great. So, as a last, note, any advice you want to share with your fellow CEOs or CXOs who'd watch this session?
I mean, uh, everyone has its own journey, so I'm not capable enough to like advise anyone anything, but uh, I think this entire digital revolution is here to stay, and would be open. Looking forward to collaborate with a number of companies across the board with the CEOs, CXOs across the board to help contribute in our own way to make it happen in the coming days. And yeah, it's a tough journey ahead, but up for it.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Sanjay. I really appreciate your humility. And it was great catching up with you, knowing your thoughts and direction, as well as how you foresee the future of e-commerce unfolding, and adding your bit into the business. So I really like the discussion, and thank you so much for spending time with us. Look forward to interacting with you again. And for those who are watching, there are a lot many other CXO Talk series that we have presented for you. So go ahead and immerse yourself into the experience. Thanks once again, Sanjay, and we wish you a very bright future to Spyne team and you as well. Right? Have a great day.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.